Welcome back to the Moto Outsider, and welcome to the first inaugural Sunday Moto Coffee Show. As always, joined by my man Chris Baird. Throw your cup up.
Oh, cups up.
Cups
We're
up.
out here
Pinkies
today.
out too. If you're
Blurred
sipping on that,
background's
pinkies
killing
up.
us. Yep.
Christopher, what coffee are you sipping on today? Let the good people know.
Oh, it's just an espresso. Was it like Stormio? Whatever those weird
Yes.
ass names they have.
So, fun story. Chris and I are both coffee snobs, and I'm actually
Yeah.
drinking the Nespresso Audacio, with a
Ooh,
little cream in there. You're
ooh.
drinking yours black, right?
Yep.
Yep. So I
Nothing
got a
new.
little cream in mine. I don't do any sugar, but I remember getting a text from Chris saying, "Dude, have you tried Nespresso or something?" And at that time, I had just gotten an espresso coffee maker,
Yep.
and unequivocally, hands down, never going back. I haven't been to Starbucks in over 2 months. Never going back
Wow.
to like Ninja, uh, Keurig until I can afford like a really
No.
nice DeLonghi, like one of those Italian
Yeah.
espresso machines. I'm staying with Nespresso, guys. It's amazing, man.
Well, I
Great.
do the breakdown too, because you get that like $40 box shipped to my house every like two
Me
weeks or
too.
3 weeks. But when you break it down, it's not that expensive, and it's
No,
some of the best coffee I've ever had. It's like it's creamy, and it's like you can see that inside. It's the best. It's so good.
for sure. And it's like the cost of one Starbucks coffee is going to run you $4 or $5. You can drink
Yeah.
two Nespresso cups for every one Starbucks. So,
Hmm.
however you're looking at it, it's fine. But also I saw a great meme a while ago, and as a person in real estate myself, it was funny because it
Yep.
was like, you know, like I forgot what the math was, but it said it's okay to go to Starbucks and order that takeout because it only shakes out to like 13 grand a year, and that's not enough to put a down payment on a house, which is absolutely true. So the moral of the story is
Yep.
enjoy your life, buy the coffee, buy the food. It's okay. It's
Live
okay.
your life. Live your
But
damn life. It does not
dude,
matter.
no, it doesn't. I mean, we can do a whole separate show on that stuff too later. But my
Not
man,
today.
Glendale was awesome. The racing was
Sure.
fantastic. The LCQs were just fire bombs.
I know. A red
Dude,
flag? Like it was.
yeah, I mean, the red flag stuff obviously very scary, but we had multiple red flags.
Yep.
Um, but all around fantastic racing. Yet another winner in the 450 class, right?
Another winner. Ken
An-
Roczen adds his name to the
an-
list,
Dude, another winner. Super tight points race. So much to talk about, so much to unpack while we are hyper caffeinated. What are your thoughts on all things Glendale, man?
Dude, Glendale was really, really good. Well, obviously, well wishes to Nate Thrasher because that was a
Yeah,
scary crash. That was
crazy get off.
very like Chad Reed 2011 Millville-esque, like the way he went over the
Yeah, just
bars and everything.
ejected.
Gone. And I don't. The problem was like I couldn't really understand the injury. Like, and obviously it was a bad crash, but he just got
Yep,
flipped over and he landed in soft dirt. At least it looked like, but
it
he was
did.
in pain, so he must have obviously maybe from getting
Yeah,
flipped over, maybe his shoulders or something. I
yeah. I
felt for
think
him because he was riding good.
the way that the bars came up and hit him in that lower stomach, upper groin area. I mean, maybe got
Yep.
the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah.
Obviously, super scary. You have no idea where you're going.
Yeah.
But I almost feel as if, and I think Lee Diffie made a good point. Like he landed in the best possible spot given his location.
Oh yeah.
He didn't land on the face or the downside of another jump. He landed in that perfect little valley
Just
between
perfection.
both lanes. But yeah, super scary. So hopefully he's good. And man, that was just,
Yeah.
yeah, that
Gnarly.
was,
Speaking of landing in the right place, Jordan Smith when he jumped
yes.
into Nate or Levi Kitchen, excuse me.
Yep.
The dude landed in the whoops, but luckily no one was coming. Can you imagine if RJ was already down
Just
there, like wide
bam.
open, hit him
Yeah.
right in the head? That could have been real bad.
Right.
But what do you think about that incident? Because from again, maybe I'm just colorblind, like most males are. I thought those lights were red on TV, and I was like, Jordan messed up. But look, watching it back, they weren't. The
I
lights
mean,
were yellow, and he was perfectly okay to jump. It was legal.
the only thing I'm thinking of is one, you know how it is when you're on a motorcycle, you are solely focused with what's in front
Tunnel
of you.
vision. Yeah.
I think he might have been in the perfect spot to where the other rider's body covered up those lights, like from an angle perspective.
Yeah,
He
for
just couldn't
sure.
see it. But at the same token, they're on both sides of the lane.
I
So
know.
it's hard to find a cop out. I just think these things happen so fast in the moment. I want to give a
Yes.
little bit more credit. But yeah, man, just one of those freaks, just another freak
Just
scenario, I think.
it's just funny. It's like, like in the moment, I was like, dude, Jordan's an idiot for doing that. But then you watch it
Mm.
back and it's like, no, like they're supposed to jump on yellow flags. This is an amateur racing. They can
Right.
jump on a yellow. It's no problem. Yeah. And it's going to be interesting too to see how this title shakes down because these guys, RJ, Jordan, and Levi are all
Yeah.
really close right now. Obviously, Joe's trying to get back into it. He's a little far back, but
Yep.
it's going to be impressive to see if these few points that Jordan lost actually do lose him the championship. Because Levi's got a 6 week break with that red plate, 6 weeks. If that
100%.
doesn't build some confidence, then I don't really know what does.
Dude, and I'm looking through our notes. Um,
Yeah.
and one thing that I want to highlight, like we could just kind of pop around.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that we went right into the 450s at the start of the program.
Yeah. That's good.
I think that needs to be the reoccurring going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember we talked about that on the last show. You had heard that through some other guys online.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's keep doing that because I think it made the night flow a little bit easier. I mean, obviously, it was more of an elongated night with the red flags and the restarts, but 450s up front, love that.
I know, I do too. I just think that, premier talent, and I think they should do it all year. It's just, you come out
Yeah,
with so many ceremonies. I've been to Supercross before and it's a great experience. But again, like when those guys come out and then they just go away and you're like, hey, here's the 50 guys. It
yeah,
does it loses that sparkle it kind of has, It's like these are the best dudes. And the racing out of the gate was pretty decent right away. And it was
for
really, it
sure.
was just, I don't know,
Like,
action packed, I guess.
man, let's focus on the 450s right now.
Yeah.
I was hoping Malcolm was going to crush it. Sucked to see what
I
happened to him in the
know.
main, but at least that first heat, him and Kenny going at it, fantastic.
Was good.
And I truly believe in my heart of hearts, Malcolm, as long as he gets out front and he can hold his pace, dude, can be challenging for moto wins and being in that top five. He's just gotten bad breaks, man.
Every week. It's always something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I don't
always
know.
something.
But you watch him, his speed and aggression is crazy. I feel like he's always like right on Tomac's heel
Mhm.
at some point in a race, and then Tomac pulls away a little bit. But the guy is fast,
Without a
like
doubt.
super fast. I mean, he's James Stewart's brother. Like it's something in that bloodline.
Yeah, and
But
he's
like Malcolm can
progressed so
ride.
well.
Yes, he's good in the whoops. It's like when's he gonna get a break? I really, really hope he can get a podium or a race win because it
Yep,
would be so cool to see. Like, the guy has had such a rough couple of years. He
for sure.
just needs a little. It's like the whole thing that the start cross thing. Like guys get good starts and they lead like Kenny did, and I'm not saying that's why Kenny won, but it's a lot easier for someone to start in first and just hold that lead than it is to work through 10th place forward.
Right.
The
Well, I mean,
field is stacked right now. It really is. These guys are amazing.
for sure. Two things. That first lane that was like 16 jumps or however long that is,
Yeah.
do that again. Keep doing
Yeah.
that.
Oh, what did you just
I
do?
think it's just thumbs up. It should go away. I don't know.
Fireworks, I guess. Okay,
But
awesome.
the screen as excited as I was to see a rhythm lane that long because it was so tech, it was so
Yes.
cool, and it allowed some rider creativity rather than your typical follow the leader type stuff. What were
It
your thoughts on
was.
the track, on the layout?
Yeah, the track, like I know it's totally different, but it reminded me of like Sam Boyd, Las Vegas vibes. Like I don't know, it just had that long rhythm
Yes.
section, and it's
Yep.
a different race itself, but it just gave me like the Sam Boyd vibes. But I don't know, the track itself was kind of one line. I didn't like that part of it. I did like the different rhythms, but it just seemed
Yep.
like it was hard to pass for a lot of guys. I mean, we watched Cooper Webb struggle to get by Hunter. That was in the heat race, I believe, right? Like he just couldn't get by him.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
and then
know. It was.
I mean, no, we can talk about this the Yamaha boys because so
Yeah.
just jump into the main. Well, first, AP getting his heat win. Yes, sir. I
Yeah.
love how wild the crowd goes for AP. Again, he
Yes.
encompasses what this sport is. AP is a treasure of motocross and supercross,
Yes.
just all over Americana. Love all things for AP. A
Yeah.
bad break for him in the main, though. He was all the way back to 19th, but
Yeah.
he clawed his way up to 10th. So going to your point about how difficult it was to pass,
Yeah.
hats off to AP, Cowboys hats off to AP,
Yeah,
because
for
dude,
real.
to do that, I mean, obviously a majority of the meat was up front, but it's just a point, dude.
Yep.
And the time he made up was ripping, man. AP was on it. It just he have had another moto win yesterday. I mean, another yeah, race win.
Very possible. Very, very possible. It's you know, for someone to get a 450 win, like you don't luck into that. Like even in the mud, like you're a good
Yep.
rider. It's just yeah, AP is very, very talented. I do wonder how long he's gonna be in the championship hunt for. Like I know he's
Yeah.
one of the guys, but can he be one of the guys the whole season? It's a hard thing to do. And that's why
Yeah.
statistically I think there's only like been 4 or 5 different race winners in history for the past 20 or something years. Like it's very rare to get more than 5 race winners. So
Right.
we've got our 5. Like, do we get any more winners this year? I do wonder about that stat. And can AP get back in this? The points. I was
For
just looking
sure.
at the points. I know Jets got the lead back now. AP is in third. He's not out of it, but Jets up there now.
This is
Jets in front
where
again.
it
It's
starts to
crunch time.
move. This is where it starts to move quickly. And if you get
Yep.
left behind, you're going to get left behind. So two things. Um, I want to talk about the Yamaha boys first, and then I want to talk about something Kenny said on the podium. So,
Mm.
uh,
Okay.
Tomac and Webb,
Hmm.
dudes were dogs at the beginning of the race and then faded back. Lee Diffie said for both guys, or maybe it was RC. Either way, the arm pump question came up again, this time for Webb as well. So,
Hmm.
is it something with the bike that might be going on? Maybe some settings, something that they're trying to adjust to, or just some kinks that they haven't worked out. I know we were talking about this in the last video, and there was some heat in the comments about our level of education on arm pump. And guys, we are as educated as two weekend warriors could be that raced C and A class. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems to be a commonality now. 2 weekends in a row. Dude, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'll start with Cooper Webb.
Sure.
For me, it was very clear with Cooper Webb. I don't think it was arm pump at all. I feel like it was right in front of us. Cooper
Mhm.
has kind of always struggled in the whoops, and I think it was very evident. He was losing so much time in the whoops. His
Yeah.
corner speed was literally some of the best I've seen. He's so good. I've said it so many times. He's so good at cutting down. He
Mhm.
wasn't very good the last few years at KTM, but that's how he won those titles. I think like those late race charges. He'd catch up with the Kenny, in like 2020, cut
Yep.
the corners, like that's just what he was doing.
For
He's
sure.
back to that form on the Yamaha, but these whoops are still, for whatever reason, just killing him. I don't know what it is. If he could figure them out, I do think he could move forward a little bit easier. And I think Eli actually had a good race. Like
He had a good
I didn't,
ride.
I didn't expect him to move forward. I do get the conversation of did the arm pump come back, but you got to look at Jet. Jet's a freak. Jet really fast. He's young. He's full of spunk and just wants to
Right.
keep rolling. But he didn't even catch Jason and excuse me, Kenny. So that just tells me that those guys were on a different level than maybe the other guys were.
Yep.
Eli rode a great race. I think it was a good recovery from last weekend. It would be nice to see him get on the podium, but I
For
don't
sure.
think he had. I think he
Is-
was fine. I just think that's where he's at right now.
do you think he's got it in him?
I do think he has it in him. I think it's going to be
Okay.
one of those things where all the cards fall in the right place. He gets a start. Like I
Sure.
think I was thinking about this in the shower this morning, but I feel like if you put any of let me look at this top five again really quick. But like, Anderson, Jet, Eli, Hunter. I say like if you put any of those top nine guys where Kenny was in that situation, I think they could all do what Kenny did and hold that lead. I truly, truly do.
Okay.
In the right situation, the right conditions. It's just a little bit, when you get up front like that and you have nothing to worry about, but you just hit your marks, hit your marks, hit your marks. And Kenny is
Yep.
really good at that, being smooth.
Yep.
I think he has it. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, I was so much more optimistic when the season started.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm starting to see that we're going to see maybe, and I hope I'm wrong because I love Tomac as a person and as a rider. But
Yeah.
are we just starting to see Tomac kind of fade into the middle of the pack? Will he have his spurts of him getting out front, holding it, and checking out? Absolutely. These guys are all capable of doing that. But
Yeah.
all things being equal, is he just kind of turning into, a mid pack, maybe upper mid pack kind of guy? We're going to see. I think we're starting to see that become a little bit more normal. One thing that was weird as hell was seeing Justin Barsha all the way in the back at like the entire main.
Yeah, that was interesting because they talked about in the broadcast how much, working on bike setup and Justin's
Yeah.
going to be so much better this week. And this is kind of like it's tough because I feel like all those Austrian guys have been fighting the bike, and I guess I don't know how much you follow like the bike changes, but there's a new frame they introduced in December, and KTM and all the Austrian brands gave the guys the option to run the old frame or the new frame,
Okay.
which is interesting, because some guys are on the old frame. I think Christian and Justin and even Malcolm, I think they're all on the old frame still.
Right.
Um, but at some point you're gonna have to get off it anyway. So I do think that it's probably like there's probably a lot going on. Like maybe they have too many options now.
That's the thing.
I don't know. It's hard to like change your bike during the week and go race it because it's a totally different setting. It's hard to replicate race day.
For sure. And with them constantly changing settings and materials and components, I just wonder how much these guys are the riders are will never say this, but they're just like, damn, stop changing stuff. But those
Yeah,
changes might come from the riders where they're like, hey, we want this, we want that. So who knows?
yeah.
Um, it just these guys got to adapt to it. And I remember when just a while back, Stewart was doing an interview on his podcast, and he was like, I could feel when they were changing things in the subframe.
Yeah,
When you're that in tune with the bike, it has to mess with your head where you're like, this just doesn't feel right. You and I, the average
hmm
rider, would never feel that. But these guys are
no,
on such a different level, dude. They're feeling all the little minute tweaks. It's got to mess with them, man, for sure.
it does for sure. And change isn't always good. It
Right.
can be bad to have all these different options and parts. And KTM has kind of been known like that's part of the reason Cooper Webb left. They say is because he wasn't happy with the bike and they weren't willing to make the changes he wanted.
Right.
But now they have all these options, and it seems like they've opened up a little bit with Chase being there now. I don't know, and I also think it goes to kind of show how veteran and how good Kenny is because I just listened to Mathis's post race interview with Larry Brooks, Kenny's team manager, and
Yep.
they don't touch his bike. He hasn't been changing anything, clickers or nothing. They said that he added a little bit extra, fluid in the forks this week, but that's just going to make it a little bit, stiffer, a little bit, probably better in the rougher stuff. But
Yeah.
I just, yeah, I don't know. I do wonder at that level, you train all off season and then you get to the race and your bike sucks. Like, what's that like? And then, like, how does that mess with you during the rest of the
Well,
year?
it's
Because
got to
now
be
you're chasing bike settings all week,
right.
all year.
It's got to be discouraging as hell because you're already going to go into the next day or the next session with the mentality of this isn't right and I don't like it. So you're mentally
Yeah.
going to be blocking yourself.
But it's not like a setting you can just throw on that's like good enough. Obviously, again, I know I'm not a professional racer, but I've raced a dirt bike and you get used to your bike and you just go out and race it. I'm sure there's always something better and I could have made my bike 100 times better, but can you not get it to a point where you can just race it comfortably? It doesn't have to
Right.
be perfect. Is it just, are these guys too privileged and have too many options?
Too
I
many
don't know.
options.
Like, seriously, I don't know. What is
Yeah.
it?
I mean, these are the answers to the questions we would love to have, man. And just like one quick thing before we talk about Kenny,
Yeah.
Justin Cooper. I feel like this dude is going to come on the scene like that. I think it's going to be one weekend that changes everything, and now all of a sudden he's a front of the pack guy, always in the conversation. You and
Yep.
I have seen this kid because he's kind of from our hometown. We've seen this kid racing from amateurs all the way up through. Now he's on TV going nutty. I
Yep.
truly think he's going to start to come to the top and rise to the top, especially as some of the older guys kind of phase out. The kid's talented, no doubt. So, what do you think on Justin Cooper?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Justin Cooper. I think, last year, he filled in and I think he did however many, 5, 6 races or whatever last season on the
Yep.
450. And he was a 7, 8 place guy, no problem. And he's doing the same thing this year. I mean, the 11th place this weekend doesn't really speak for how well he's been riding, but I
Yep.
think you're right. Like you said, one good race, like a Daytona or one of the Speedway races, he can just get himself on the podium. I feel like he's someone who works off confidence and he probably hasn't had a big boost in a while. I mean,
Yep.
he was almost fastest qualifier, I think, last week. Like he was really quick. He just needs a heat race when he needs something just to kind of get that spark lit under his ass, just kind of take off. Because the guy's incredibly talented. Like you said, we've talked about it before, but I remember watching him on 65s and 85s at Unadilla
Yep.
amateur days. And the kid
Unbelievable.
was just literally this was his wrist the whole time around the track. Like he just did
Yeah.
not let off the gas. So
I remember flagging turn 3, turn 3 or turn 4 at the amateur track.
mhm.
Um, and he would come around and dude, I'd be waiting. I'm like, okay, so where is second place? And
Yeah,
you're waiting, and like maybe 30 to 40 seconds later, here comes. I'm like,
yes,
wow, dude,
on a 4 lap race.
on
On
a
a 4 lap
four-lap,
race.
this kid's lapping people on a 4-lap. Correct.
Yeah,
And dude, on those little
amazing
bikes, and the kid's just full send. So awesome to see him doing good, man. Yeah, just
for
talent
sure.
on another level. But Kenny, in his post-race
Kenny,
interview,
talk to us.
he was like, yeah, I just don't win that much anymore. So I take these moments in a lot more and I'm much more appreciative, blah, blah, blah. And that's really interesting to hear a champion say, I just
Yeah.
don't win that much anymore, which statistically is true. But does that say anything about his mentality, what he's thinking about his future? Maybe, just all things going on in his mind. He's a family guy now. Obviously, he's got opportunities beyond
Yep.
motocross and supercross. Still proven a race winner, talented as all hell. But for him to say that and for a champion to say that nonetheless, it's like, was that man
Mm.
thinking?
Makes you
Mentality's kind of
wonder.
changing a little bit.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I haven't had any kids, so I don't know what that's like, but
Yep.
I'm guessing that changes things. But at the end of the day, I
Sure.
mean, he probably also wants his kids to see him race in his prime. So you'd think he'd want to stick around for a while.
Right.
I don't know. I truly think that it kind of speaks on where the sport's going. And again, it's weird. Another thought I had in the shower this morning, but
Yep.
like MC racing, like I wanted to look it up and I forgot to, but like I wonder how old Jeremy McGrath was in '05 when he raced, Ricky Stewart and Reed.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna Google
If you
it.
can look that up, yeah, let me know how old Jeremy McGrath was in 19 or 2005. Because I feel like Kenny's probably that same age right now, but Jeremy wasn't contending for race wins in '05, where Kenny literally just won a race. And it's impressive, dude. It's impressive to see how long these guys are sticking around in our sport and riding like they are. I mean, Kenny was just as fast as Jet or anybody else. Yeah, I don't know. It's what do you got?
So he was 33, 34 years old, somewhere in there, depending.
Okay. And Kenny's 30,
Yeah,
31.
he's in his because
So,
I'm 29, so I think he's 31.
okay. So Jeremy was a little older. Okay. So fair enough.
Yep,
And he didn't race the full Supercross season. I totally get it. But, Kenny's still on the level of the top guys. Like, look at the results.
no doubt.
These aren't like all rookies. Like, you have Jet and you have, Chase. I mean, there's
Yep.
not like there's a bunch of rookies in the top 10. Like, these guys are all late 20s, early 30s. You never saw that in motocross, supercross. That was never a thing. So it's good for one. It's awesome that Eli Tomac's still around. It's awesome that Cooper Webb's still around. And two, it's just, yeah, I don't know if it's the bikes or whatever it is, but we're getting a lot more out of these guys. And I
Right.
truly think that, like Justin Brayton, you could easily see Kevin Roczen race till he's 35, 36, maybe even Jason Anderson. He said he wants to keep racing. Like he loves it.
Yep. Dude, you want to know? Last night when I was watching, I had this weird, like, just thought just come in my head, which is so strange because I haven't thought about this in a while. I was like, you want to know who would have enjoyed that track last night?
Who's
Justin
that?
Bogle.
Oh, the jumps and just all
Dude,
that stuff.
just the jumps and the style that kid had. I was
I
like, this
know.
this is a Justin Bogle track, man.
All
Just
day,
something.
man.
Yeah. Like
It's
I
so
remember watching
cool.
his YouTube videos, him and Trey Kennard and all those boys training down in Oklahoma.
Just the
And
oppos and all the things they would do.
yes, and I was like, I could just see Justin Bogle having some crazy style on those rhythm sections, just looking super smooth and fluid. I don't know, it's just a random thought.
Well, dude, he's racing like I don't know if it's the UK or what. He's racing arena cross for Stark right now on the electric bike. Like he's literally
Oh,
like
cool.
testing and racing for them.
I
He's been
really hope
podium guy.
electric racing doesn't like I know it's a thing in road cars. I hope it doesn't turn into motocross,
It
man.
can't. I think everyone's gonna abandon it. Like look at GM and Honda just they collabed to do a hydrogen engine that they were gonna work on. Like I think
Right.
people are understanding that electricity is not the move. California cannot handle all the power right now as it
Well,
is.
don't
Like
get too political,
yeah,
Chris.
I
Chill. We're gonna have
know.
people
I'm
coming
just
for us.
saying. It's just facts. Like
Yep.
when the power goes out, you guys are screwed. But
Yep.
I don't know. I don't see it like taking over. But I do like that it's an option. Like look at the Surons and the Telerias, like those electric little e-bikes for kids. It's good
Yep.
to have options for people in areas that can't race on tracks, but it can't take over. There's no way.
No, I hope not. I
I'm not
truly
here
hope
for
not.
it.
Going
Uh,
back
I,
to oh no, go ahead.
one more thing I want to talk to you about at the last show. I'm going to talk to you about this show, which I think you might find interesting if you don't already know about it. But it sounds like JGR and Ducati might be teaming up to come back to
Let's
racing.
go.
For
Let's
one,
go.
in Coy Gibbs' memory, his
Let's
son, and I
go.
guess
Yeah,
his
rest in peace, man. So sad.
that was rough. But I guess
Yeah,
Ty and Ty's mom, like I guess they want to keep that like form alive of motocross. I guess that they still love it. Jeremy Albrecht is still involved with them, and I guess a lot of their crew is still involved, and it kind of helps out like with the AMA side of things with the races. So
perfect.
it sounds like JGR and Ducati could be a thing 2025, 2026. But I guess there's also some issues. This is all according to Steve Mathis again, the guy who tells us the most. It's always
Yeah.
him. But
Yep.
yeah, it sounds like there could be an issue though, because something with like JGR running uh Toyota for NASCAR, and then like Ducati has ties to a different manufacturer, Alfa Romeo or something, I guess. I don't know much about that, but
Well, Alfa Romeo doesn't
or
make trucks to
Audi or
transport dirt
someone.
bikes, so
No, I know. It's just interesting though how there's those
yeah,
ties. And what do you think
right.
about like a JGR Ducati thing? Like was that
I mean, I'm for it. Like I am for an endless expansion of this sport and all things racing. I think
yeah,
racing needs to be bigger as a whole, and racing is huge. I think racing needs to be bigger.
yeah,
Um, but in terms of JGR and Ducati, I love it. Bring the team back. Amazing team, historic team. The Gibbs name is synonymous across multiple sports.
yep.
So bring it back. Make sure the riders are sick. Make sure the bike is sick. I'm sure their legal teams and their council can work out the sponsorship, details and the minutia. Okay, don't put Toyota or Alfa Romeo on the jerseys.
Yep.
Just because everyone goes to Toyota of Escondido, I have no desire to buy a Tundra or a Tacoma. I don't care. So I don't think it holds that much weight as maybe the legal jargon suggests it does, but
Yep.
that's why these teams have lawyers and everything. To answer your question, though, bring it back, expand all teams. I'm so excited to see what happens with the Ducati motorcycle as a whole, just because the brand is so historic and so cool. I'm
Yep.
pumped.
I am too. Yeah, I know they make some pretty dang good looking motorcycles, and
Oh, without a
for them
doubt,
to
man.
go, full in on a dirt bike with possibly an endless budget would be really, really cool. So
Yeah,
I'm all for it, man. More teams, more riders. I mean, look at how stacked the field is. It's only going to get better as the guys move up. I mean, you got to imagine RJ Hampshire, Jordan Smith, those guys are going to be moving up in the next year or two. I mean,
right.
the field only gets deeper from here. It does not
Well,
get any less deep.
and dude, perfect segue into the 250s. So let's talk about the 250 heats, the mains.
Mhm.
Obviously, the main finish, RJ Hampshire, Levi Kitchen, Joe Shimoda finally showed up to show that he has the capability to run up front. He said on his podium interview that his, results haven't been what they should be. Obviously, he's aware of that. These guys are hyper aware of everything, but that
Yeah.
just confirmed what we talked about in the last show. But dude, like Robbie Wageman had a good ride. Hunter Yoder had a good ride. So what are your thoughts on the 250
Yeah.
mains and the overall and the heats and the overall?
Yeah, I know. I think Joe was better. I still think he's got a lot to work on because, if Jordan had been up there and hadn't had that crash, he wouldn't have been on the podium. Just
Right,
is what it is.
right.
And he had Levi within 2 seconds and couldn't catch him. So,
Yep.
again, not saying anything against Joe. I think Joe's obviously in a better spot, but you watch him in practice in the heats, like he can definitely start the bike and he can get it up front. It's just like the main events, man. I just don't know what it is. I hope he figures it
Yeah.
out because we're all big Joe fans. But it was a really good main event. There was a lot going on with Levi, and Jordan was so good in the whoops, to pass Levi. Again, Jordan, I just look at the age thing again. Jordan is just so much older, I guess is the best way to put it, than what Levi is. Levi's so
Yeah.
young still. These guys aren't old in retrospect. They're not old at all, but
In terms of racing,
for racing,
they're old, right?
excuse me, yeah. So it's just interesting that Jordan was so much better, and at the end of his career, he's coming alive like this. So I
Yeah.
love to see it. I love seeing these guys prosper and really do well. And those dual red plates is always fun to see who's going to come on with it. Levi got the best of it this weekend, but
Yeah.
it was really good racing. I think RJ's proven that he can be smart and not crash and be conservative with his racing, and another
Yep.
win.
Dude, what
Really
are your
good.
thoughts? What are your thoughts on two bikes carrying the red plate? Personally, I don't agree with it. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think there's got to be a way. Like whoever has more race wins or whatever the deal is, like I think they should
Yeah.
they should definitely split it up. Who got the first win? Whatever you want to do there. I don't like
Sure.
having both red plates, but because it probably gets confusing for people on the outside, not really knowing what's going on. And then you have a jet with like a purple background. It's got to be a lot for people to be like, what do all these different backgrounds mean?
Yeah.
But
And
yeah, I
then
don't know. I
also
think
too, as a racer, be like, no, there's no two leaders. Someone's a
no,
loser here. And it's like, I'm not gonna
yeah,
share a red plate. Now
it's me.
the team the team's probably like, you're gonna run the red plate, like,
You
sponsors
know,
say we have to. The whole sponsorship thing's weird anyways.
it is.
Um,
Well, I don't know if you remember, but like there was a big thing. I think it was Chad Reed back in like 2011 or 12 or something. Like he had to run the red plate with someone else, and
yeah,
he didn't want to do it, and it's caused problems. And yeah, people are like that. They don't want to be tied. There's no like both guys get winner trophies. Like one
yep,
guy comes out on top. It is what it is.
for sure. And it's just so funny seeing everyone on the podiums thanking their sponsors and blah blah blah. It's like, dude, really? Like the
Well, why
robot
can't?
the robot stuff is so annoying.
Well, dude, why couldn't they just put a graphic up for each team, like Levi Kitchen, and put all of his sponsors at the bottom of the screen, so he doesn't have to announce
Yep.
them. They all get that coverage that they want.
Right. I mean, your name is plastered all over the bike and the jersey anyways, and then they got to say it on TV. It's probably
And you got a
super.
hat and your goggles
Yeah.
and your jersey. Like we see it. It's all right there. And you're not
Yep.
selling, trucks off of the Toyota Vesnita logo on your shirt. I'm sorry. If they do, good for them. But I highly doubt there's any
Right.
data to back
A
that
lot
up.
of, but a lot of that stuff isn't necessarily for sales. It's more for like brand awareness
Yeah.
and recognizing the brand. It's like, oh yeah, Toyota Escondido, and
Yeah.
then maybe
Put it
you'll
out
go
there.
shop there. But it's like it's just more of like a synonymous kind of associating your name with something, and then getting sales from that. But dude, going back to the race, Carson Mumford was on a rip in his heat race. Dude
Yeah.
was sending and then just faded in the main.
I know. 11th place. He was up front farther, so I don't know what happened if he actually faded or what. But I mean, like in the heat race, he
Yep.
went for Levi's front tire. I was like, damn, dude. Like,
Yeah,
all
he
right,
was
you're
going for
on
it.
it.
Which again, more of that. More of
Yeah,
that.
more of that. Those guys are riding really
Hunt
good.
him
And
down. Take him down.
just I don't want to switch back to 450s for a while, but to switch back to the whole Vince Freeze, in his heat race, that team, that Moto Concepts team, those guys are they're really good riders. Vince
Yep.
held off Hunter and a bunch of other guys for a while, and Cooper. Like it was, they're having trouble getting by. Even Eli was struggling to get by him. And Vince is like literally like a concrete wall out there. Just trying to pass that dude is tough. But shout out to Moto Concepts. Oldenburg's riding good too. Those guys are awesome.
Yep.
It was good to see Mumford up front. And Julian Beaumer, he finished seventh. He wasn't Arizona guy. I expect more out of him, hopefully. I don't know if it's the bike or what it is. He's just young, but I hope he can figure it out. Dude, Robbie Wageman, that dude,
Yep.
ninth place.
Yep. That's a nice finish,
Solid.
man. Came out swinging, sent it. Well, then, dude, Billy Laninovich,
Our boy Billy.
41 years old,
LCQ.
full send in the LCQ, just going, ripping. Obviously, like the red flags and the restarts in the LCQ, but
yeah, he got the start.
Yep. And then checked out. And I love the fact that even though he knows he's a back of the pack guy, just still out there getting his name out there, sending it. I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Not to mention
he's hurt.
Teeth are absolutely perfect.
Perfect teeth, the long hair.
Baby.
He's got it going on,
Yeah,
Cali
the
boy,
long hair, that California. He's from California, right? Yeah, from Temecula. So he's got like that laid back surfer vibe to him. It's funny.
Yeah, a whole thing going. It's just cool to see. I truly didn't know if he'd be able to qualify, but his age, doing it again, it's twice now. He's putting his name in the history books. I think that's pretty impressive. And hopefully I don't know, maybe get some guys out here soon. Like maybe Chad Reed comes out in a couple of years, tries to qualify or something. It's awesome, man. That's a legend. It's like our childhood. It's like
so
when
cool.
The Rock comes back to WWE or something, It's just people see that and they're like, no way, man, this is sick.
And I know in the last video I had said that I was throwing a wild card out there of Ryder D doing something good. Well, that obviously
Ryder D got hurt.
He got spanked.
Hey, he was hurt on the side of the track. It looked like he was in a lot of pain. I don't know if he lost his breath or whatever, but that's a tough one,
Do we have any of the updates for any of the injuries on those guys?
Not yet. They said Nate got transported, I guess. They didn't give us anything at all. Not a single body part or anything. Nothing about Ryder yet. Then it's early, it's hard. That's why I don't always love doing these shows so early on a Sunday because nothing's out yet. There's not really any interviews out yet, but no biggie, we'll follow up this week with it. But yeah, I hope these guys are okay. It was kind of expected, I think, on that track. That track was very technical, it was a rough track. But did you remember the part in the main with Jet when he almost died on that double jump?
No.
That after that really long rhythm, there was that double before the wall to the whoops.
Yes. So what happened?
He clipped the front of it, whipped it, clipped the front, and literally almost went over the bars and died, like in the middle of the race. He did that a couple times though. He did it in the practice and his heat race too. I just don't know if you kind of forget you're scrubbing, you forget how low you're going and everything.
Yeah.
But sometimes
you can manipulate the bike that well that you forget how low you can actually get that thing to the dirt.
Wild. If anyone else saw that, let me know. That was gnarly. I was like, dude, he literally probably should have crashed. The kid is talented on the bike, saved it.
You want to know what was interesting to watch is that for a few laps, and Cooper Webb put in a masterclass of defensive riding.
Yes.
That was interesting, especially when Jet was behind him. And obviously he ended up getting passed and faded. Like I think he lost 3 or 4 positions in one lap during the main. But a fantastic defensive rider. Like Cooper's good at being that nuisance, whereas like I'm losing time. I'm faster than you, but you know how to just hold.
I'm gonna ride a wide bike. Yeah, he rides a wide bike. He doesn't care.
Yep. No,
good.
That's why it's awesome, man. But we're on to Arlington next week.
I think don't we have a week off though?
February 24th. So yeah, we're on to Arlington in 2 weeks, right?
Damn, I hate the break. It sucks this time of year. It's weird that they don't do it they're not off for Easter, I don't think, right? They're just off for this one season, this one weekend.
Yeah.
Which kind of gives the West guys 6 weeks off and gives the East guys like 3 weeks off, which is so weird. But
we've got speculation. The internet and media is nothing but speculation.
Of course.
Who you got, man? I think we're gonna see for the 250s, we're gonna see, Deegan do better. Obviously, he's gonna have another shot. I think he'll do better. And then I'm pumped to see the Triumph guys step in. I'm hoping Jalek Swoll gives us a better. He did great the first race, but I'm hoping that consistency is there, or that moving up in the field is there too.
No, for sure. Yeah, I think Hayden. Obviously, we make the video last week and the thumbnails. Can Hayden rebound? Obviously, Hayden can rebound. Yeah, we're just playing the YouTube games. That's what everyone does. But Hayden's really he's gonna come back. He's gonna be healthier. I'm on the Faulkner bandwagon right now. I truly think that kid has changed so much, and I'm really, really impressed just watching him ride. He's so mature, and I've said it the last show, but I think his 450 career is going to be really good because of the changes he's made. So I think he can hold on to this thing really easily. Even if Deegan wins 7 races in a row. Like if Austin's just there and in the hunt, and I don't think obviously if Deegan won 7 races in a row, he'd win the title. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like I think Austin can really do something and kind of keep control of this.
Yeah.
And the Triumph guys, yeah, they got a lot more to prove now. They put both bikes in. Now it's time to start getting results.
For
Especially
sure.
Evan Perry. You know, he's a rookie, little
Yeah.
expectation, but you can't just let the kid coast through the season. Like you got to put a little bit of pressure on him and kind of keep
For
him
sure.
working towards the front, man.
And I want to give Evan Ferry the same grace that we gave Deegan, whereas you're not going to judge him on this season, you're going to judge him on next year.
Yep.
Obviously, in the court of public opinion, we are going to judge his results, obviously,
Yep.
and that's fine. But I'm sure knowing who his father is, his history, they all know that they're feeling everything out this year. Next year, we're going to
Yeah.
send it. And I think that's why Deegan's going to do better this year.
Well, what's
But
your thoughts on like the whole? Sorry to cut you off. But like, what's
no
your
good.
thoughts on the Deegan camp? It truly sounds like where everywhere you read online, like Deegan actually broke his wrist, but they just said he sprained it. Like it sounds like he broke it and had to recover and then came back. And then they won't tell the truth, but there's people
Yeah.
on the inside saying that. So like, what's your thoughts on that? Obviously, if it was like football and someone knows that someone had a broken wrist, it's easy to target somebody. But you're
Yep.
not trying to go break some kid's wrist on a dirt bike. Like
For
I
sure.
hate that side of our sport.
So you think someone's going to purposely go after him to take him out, make him brace himself, and
Well,
just
why else would they do that? Like, why else would they not say that there's injuries? I just don't. I don't know. What do you think about that? I don't know.
hard to say. So he's effectively out there with a broken wrist, right?
Yeah.
I don't think at this level of the sport you can ride a bike with a broken wrist.
Well, I think it was broken in the heel, is what I'm saying. But like
Okay.
he had broken it, which I don't know why they wouldn't just say in November, "Hey, Hayden broke his wrist. Got to be on the East Coast." I don't know. I don't get
Maybe it
that.
is just to keep because they know that his name is thrashed in the media. Maybe it's just to keep everything quiet, just shut up. It's his
Yeah,
private medical stuff, so you got HIPAA involved. You don't got to say nothing.
that's true. No, you're
So,
right. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know, but I mean, kudos to him for going out there and not being like, no, I need to sit this out until my wrist heals. I'm glad he's out there sending it. He's comfortable enough to do so, ride at a high level, get it done. I like that.
but it looks a
Um,
little bit better when you go out and you don't do as well as you want to. I mean, his bike was damaged, but like when you're not
yep,
smoking everybody in your heat race and
yep,
like, oh, why didn't you do as good? Well, I did break my wrist before the season, and I'm just kind of getting back into it.
yep,
Might be give you a little cushion there, when your results aren't perfect.
for sure. Just we could speculate till the cows come home on it, man. It's just who
Yeah, of
knows.
course.
Like I'm sure each team has different protocol too with what information gets out,
Hmm.
and probably for the best. I don't think we live in a world where everything is so accessible and people have endless amount of access. So personally, I think it's
Yeah,
okay. Hold that info back. We don't need to know. It's all good. It's all good.
all good. Nothing to worry about.
Um, let's do some practical predictions and then some wild card predictions, and we'll wrap this puppy up.
Okay.
No, screw practical. We know who the practical options are. Give me a wild card for both races next weekend.
God, dude, put me on the spot like that. I'm gonna say Max Anstey podium,
Ooh, I like
which
it.
probably isn't that crazy because I mean he podiumed the first round. But with all the guys healthy, Max Anstey still podiums. I think
Yep.
he's gonna be really good in Arlington.
Yep.
And yeah, let's say Cooper Webb podium. I think he's gonna come back. I feel like he's pretty good in the Texas rounds. He likes
Cool.
that dirt. So yeah, who do you got?
I'm gonna say Eli Tomac moto win. Race Eli Tomac
Well,
race win.
is
He's
it
gonna
Triple Crown or no?
uh
Nobody. I'm just wondering. I know there's more Triple Crowns. I just don't know when they are.
I don't think so. Unless I'm wrong. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I don't
Yeah,
have
I'll check.
that in front of me.
I don't have internet
Um
access right now.
yeah, dude. I think Eli Tomac's gonna be the overall winner. We're gonna go with
Okay.
that. And then I think Jalek Swole podium.
That's wild card. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I
I
love
like
it.
the sixth finish. I know
Hmm.
that it was a wild race. The start was insane. A lot of dudes went down. That's fine. But I want to say he's going to show back up and just send it. I like the vibe of the team. I like what Drew's been saying to us about Triumph. I think the overall like energy is good coming out of them. Jalek Swole, baby. Podium.
You got to think too. I mean, obviously they got the first race under their belt. The bike's only going to get better now. They
Correct.
know what to work on. They know what to improve on. I'm
Yep.
curious to hear what Drew has to say about what they've worked on. We got to catch
Yeah, we
up
got to
with him
get
this
Drew back
week.
on.
Let's see hear what he said because I mean he's had some time off now to work on the bike and test and yeah. And I got to think. I mean, you could be right. Jalik's a podium guy. He just needs to I don't know if it's confidence or make sure the bike's perfect, but he'll get there. I truly think that.
Yeah. I mean, I think the season so far has been great. We've had some boring races, sure, but last night was just a proof that racing is still alive and well. These guys are battling. that we have such I hope people understand we have such a unique season right now on our hands with the points spread and how close it is, with how many race winners we've had. It's been anything but boring if you break it down nuts and bolts. I think it's been great, and it's just the reason why we love this stuff, man. Not even you and I are big outdoors guys. We love outdoors, but right now, man, so focused on Supercross, not even thinking about outdoors yet. It's awesome.
I know we have so much racing left. You know, these titles aren't decided. There's not like anyone has like run away with the points or anything yet. Like where everything is so close.
Yep.
Jet has one bad race. You know, I mean, Levi has a bad race. Faulkner has a bad race. I mean, these guys are all got to work really hard this year because everybody is so good and the field's just getting stronger and stronger.
Right.
So, as race fans, we are absolutely blessed for the season we're gonna have. It's amazing.
For sure. So everybody, if you're still watching in the comments, thank you for hanging out with us this long. We appreciate it. We know we're trying to do more long form stuff, give you a little bit of a different opinion. Let us know in the comments though who you've got for some wild card race winners, man. I want to hear it.
Yeah,
We want to hear it.
we're here for it. Let us know who you think's gonna win. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be good. Yeah, I think we're picking up our consistency with the shows, and I think this the coffee show is fun Sunday morning thing. Kind of just sit and talk about the races. So we're gonna try to do them after the race, I think too, when we can. I'm just having Wi-Fi issues where I am right now, so
Yep.
when I get those sorted, we'll be on the game
For sure.
and keep
And
fun content out.
dude, like coffee is social. You and I, dude, we've bonded over coffee for the better part of a decade. So
Yes.
we know you moto guys and girls out there dig coffee. So hopefully we could do this live one day, man, and we're all just like hanging out in like a live room, drinking some coffee, bench racing as it's meant to
Yeah,
be.
of
And
course.
maybe we have some Moto Outsider coffee cups coming, some Moto
Oh,
Outsider merch.
maybe,
What's going
maybe,
on?
maybe what's up with that? I don't know.
Chris
There
is
might
a
be some stuff
design
coming in.
savant and he's working on some cool
All right. Easy,
stuff.
easy with those words, but yeah, I know I'm doing my best. All right, doing my
Heard
best.
that. But
Yeah, man, I'm
guys,
excited.
there's a lot of fun stuff on the horizon, man. We're working towards it. We appreciate you all for hanging out with us. We know we've got a small community so far, but with what we've got going on, we're here to change the damn game. We want to meet you guys at the races this year. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up, working on a really cool thing for the privateers as well. There's just a lot of legal stuff involved that I'm trying to research and understand so we can make sure we're doing the right
Yeah.
thing. But just a lot of stuff going on, guys. So thanks for hanging us on this first but of many coffee shows, Moto Outsider coffee shows.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate it. You know, it's probably maybe rough for some people in the beginning if you're not into coffee, but you know, you can get yourself some tea or a beer or Mountain Dew, whatever you drink, and sit and talk with us
Whatever
and
you're drinking in the morning, baby, it's all good.
discuss dirt bikes. You know, sit in the comment section and leave 30 comments. Like just respond to all the stupid stuff we say and let us know that we're idiots. We don't care. We want to hear it.
It's all good. It's all good.
Apparently, we know nothing about arm pump. Apparently, so you know, we're just a
Yeah.
bunch of idiots. So,
Hey, dude, before we go, remember who was the rider that got the arm pump surgery with GNCC?
bunch
Was
of
it
guys.
what's his name from GNCC? That was the
Well,
first
Zach
time I knew. Go ahead.
Osborne got it.
No. KTM guy. He was the first dude like years ago where I was like, damn, you can get a surgery to get rid of arm pump because of that muscle or tendon or whatever.
Yeah.
Was it Kurt Caselli?
Caselli, he might have. Yeah, might have been. Yeah,
Something like that.
recipe.
So I wonder how many of those dudes are getting like surgeries just to engineer that out. Interesting thing.
Absolutely. A bunch of guys have gotten it. I think, I mean, maybe AC got it. There's been guys that got it and have had success, and other guys haven't. Did Jimmy D get it? I think too.
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like
Love that
there's
dude.
been
Got to get
so
him on
many.
the show. Anyway, we can get him on the show.
I'd love to. He's on Race Day Lila this week. I mean, he's a big shot, you know?
I'm gonna need you to start sliding into a lot of DMs.
Hey, you want to come on our show?
Hey,
I tried with
please.
Cincerillo, and he just left me on red, so we'll keep working on it.
Just keep sending him links to the show. We'll get him. If he's leading you
We'll
on
throw
red,
him
hey,
up.
he's reading.
He acknowledged it.
Yep.
Now we'll be
Chris,
good.
as always, brother, thank you so much, man.
Sounds good, Matthew. We will talk again here soon. I'm ready for another cup. Mine's been empty for a while, so I'm
Pinkies
ready.
up.
The
Pinkies up.
espresso is on. It's getting warmed up right now.
Let's go.
Snap, let's go.
Let's
Hey
go.
Siri, make me a coffee.
Guys, thank you so much. This is the Moto Outsider out.